this discourse around black liberals, black leftist, white leftist, everything with that whole discourse is a lot on this app, and it's just it's kind of getting out of control, and I didn't know how to really articulate myself and how I really felt about all of it. But I think I just found a really good example that my mom, who is black and indigenous, taught me when I was younger. And it really showed me that just because I'm black, right, doesn't mean I can't, as a black person or my ancestors, inflict harm on other people. And I think this is something that a lot of people, black people on this app, need to learn, because a lot of you are not understanding that. And I think this will help. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully, though, it will help. But at the end of the day, we are under attack as black people globally. And infighting, it's not going to get us anywhere. And I wish that those who still sided with this government and this empire would learn that by them doing that, they are harming us as black people. But I just wish people would understand that we are seriously under attack, and all this infighting is not going to get us anywhere, because this empire doesn't like us. And I thought we understood that, but I think we are starting to lose it. So maybe here's an example that might help. I don't know, but I'm tired of seeing it on my timeline. I'm tired of seeing it everywhere. And I just kind of wish that we understood that nobody is for us, right? Like, nobody is for us, and that the empire doesn't like us. Okay, so I know we all either learned about or have heard the Bob Marley song about Buffalo Soldiers. Buffalo Soldiers were basically these soldiers who, after they got out of slavery, they basically, the government was trying to hunt down indigenous people. And Buffalo Soldiers were black people who joined the army, who joined the military, and they were working on behalf of the colonizer, were working on behalf of the empire, and basically they helped the empire to slaughter thousands and thousands of indigenous people. It's not a very happy part of black history, and it has a very complicated history around it. Even in this, talking about it from the African American Museum in Washington, D.C., they have a little part in here that says the heroism of the soldiers has been celebrated by filmmakers, musicians, military, and descendants who want to preserve their legacy. Yet that legacy is a complex one and raises challenging questions about the relationship of the soldiers to the government they served, as well as to the native peoples they fought. Here's a little bit more on the Buffalo Soldiers. Yes, this is from Wikipedia. I'm just doing something preliminary right now. But basically, the Buffalo Soldiers were United States Army regiment composed exclusively of African American soldiers formed during the 19th century to serve on the American frontier. On September 21st, 1866, the 10th Cavalry Regiment was formed at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, I think that says. The nickname Buffalo Soldiers was primarily given to the regiments by the indigenous tribes who fought against them during the American Indian Wars. And the terms eventually became synonymous with all the African American regiments that were established in 1866, including the 9th Cavalry, 10th Cavalry, 24th Infantry, 25th Infantry, and 38th Infantry. So this happened after the Civil War. And basically black people had just come out of slavery. And they were, the thing about it is that they had just come out of slavery, and because they've just come out of slavery, what were they going to do? Right? And I know and this is how it is to this day, to be honest. I know that the military seemed like something that they could do, that they could get something out of, right? They can get some type of money, they could get some type of something out of it, right? Because that's what they promise you every time. The military will be like, oh, you live in this impoverished neighborhood, you do, you're living not so great. Join the military, and then you're going to get money, you're going to get some, scholarship for school, you're going to get all this stuff that you wouldn't get otherwise. And that's why a lot of black people joined the military, right? And that was just out of, slavery. And a lot of black people didn't have land, they didn't have money, they didn't have anything. And so they figured, let's join the military and we'll get something out of this, right? Only for them to slaughter, and they say fight, but it's really just a slaughter of indigenous people. And it really sucks. And as a black indigenous person, I hate bringing up this history. Like, I really do. I don't like it. But it happened. And for indigenous people, Buffalo Soldiers are not something they celebrate. They don't like Buffalo Soldiers. They would never like Buffalo Soldiers. Why would they like Buffalo Soldiers? Buffalo Soldiers came, they were a part, they became part of the empire, which was stealing their land, indigenous people's land, as well as slaughtering them. And black people directly went and became a part of it. Now again, yes, they just came out of slavery. Yes, they didn't have anything. Yes, they were just looking for a way to be able to live, right? Because they figured they were going to get something out of being in the military. And if they did this for, this empire, they would get something out of it for themselves. So I'm not saying that black people were inherently being like, oh, let's just kill these indigenous people just because we are evil and we just don't like indigenous people and we just want them to die. Like the colonizers were, right? But they still did. They still did. And it's sort of like how a lot of people right now are talking about what's going on in Palestine. They're like, well, yeah, we do live in the United States, but we are oppressed, right? As black people, we are oppressed. And I'm never going to say that black people are not. I am black. But you will say that. But to a Palestinian person, when you say, I live in the United States, but I am oppressed as a black person, so I really don't have a hand in anything that's going on over there. When literally our taxes go over there all the time. Like, unless black people collectively decided that we were not going to pay taxes tomorrow, and we were like, we're done paying taxes, we will not, participate in this empire until you stop indiscriminately bombing people for no reason and give us reparations. We are not going to participate in this empire anymore. We are not going to pay taxes. We are just going, then when we say, but we are oppressed in the United States and we're doing everything we can to stop what is going on over there, then maybe Palestinians would look at us and go, oh, okay, fine. That's cool. Great. I respect you so much. And I'm not saying that Palestinians don't respect us because they're in solidarity with us, the same way a lot of us are in solidarity with them. But you have to think about how they think about us over in Palestine, right? Because I'm sure that there are Palestinians who look at us and go, but they are just a part of the problem just as much as anybody else over there, because their money that they make when they go to work and then they pay taxes, their money still is going over to the imaginary land to help bomb us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not explaining it right. I don't know, but all I know is that I'm tired of seeing all this discourse on my timeline. I'm tired of black people going back and forth with each other, and I really do wish that we all remembered that this empire does not like us, and that they would never, ever protect us. Ever. So what do we have to lose in wanting to not participate in a genocide? I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I really, truly don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just kind of over all of this.